Everyone, from me, Brent Graham of goodforthegame.co.za, and welcome to this betting preview for South Africa v Scotland, taking place at 5:45 South African time later today. Right, this betting preview is powered by betexchange.com. They've got a really great price boost on at the moment, and we'll go onto that throughout the preview. Let's get started then. If you do enjoy these previews, hit the subscribe button now. Make sure you get notified for any of our previews that go out. We do individual match previews, but we're also doing live shows, and one of those live shows will take place this afternoon at 3:30. There is a link in the description box below. Of course, if you do enjoy the previews, we appreciate the like as well. It does help the channel a lot. Right, we're also giving away a 200 Rand Bet Exchange voucher on today's preview. Exactly the same format as we used on Friday for France v New Zealand, and well done to Keaton for winning that with his pick. What we want to know is who's going to win the game. Is it South Africa or Scotland? By how many points? And then how many total points in the game? And the total points is at the end of the day a tiebreaker. So we first of all looking who's going to win, then the person who gets closest to the margin. If we have a tie at that point, we'll look at total points. Right, you can answer those in the comments section down below. Latest outright betting at BetExchange. Just a couple of movements to report off the action so far. France in from 33-10 to 28-10 after the impressive win over New Zealand. The box pretty stable at 33-10, although there was 11-4 available on Friday when we did the handicap show. So quite interesting that the box have shortened slightly despite not really doing anything. So that can only be on the basis of the France v New Zealand game. The All Blacks, well, it's a bit of doom and gloom in the All Black country at the moment, but they're only 7-2, and the reason for that is, of course, they're pretty much guaranteed to move on to the quarterfinals, and we all know you just don't write an All Black team off. Ireland have also shortened on the basis of their big win over Romania, but I think it was also more on the French-New Zealand game where people sort of said, South Africa and Ireland have got a good chance against either of these sides. England are in after the impressive win against Argentina from 16-1 to 11-1, and Australia pegged in a point from 15-1 to 14-1 after a pretty impressive display against Georgia. It certainly wasn't a complete display, but I think the Aussies showed that they're going to be no pushovers. The big losers so far in the betting this week, it's Argentina. They went to 24-1. They're now out to 40-1 after what can only be described as a diabolical performance. Right, let's just have a quick look at the team sheets for South Africa v Scotland. Some very interesting matchups here. Dwayne van der Merwe against Kurtley Arendse on the wing. Certainly the fly-half battle, Finn Russell against Manie Libbok. Really looking forward to that one. At the end of the day, I think two very good teams are going to be running out there. I do, however, believe that the Bok bench could potentially swing things in their favour. Let's have a look at the head-to-head form between the sides. South Africa have dominated recent fixtures. They've won the last 7 against the Scots. They lost a loss coming way back in 2010 at Murrayfield. Quite a few low-scoring encounters are in there as well. And I'm just looking at this World Cup. I didn't get involved in the early markets, the under points for the tournament. I know they were looking at an average of about 54.8 points a game. And I remember thinking I should get involved because I thought it'd be a bit of an unders tournament, and so it really looks, aside from that Irish game which went absolutely crazy, but that was kind of to be expected. There certainly have been some low scoring games, and tries have been pretty hard to come by. Right, let's have a look at the betting now. I'm going to show you at the top here. We've got the points, spreads, and totals, and that's using the Bettex Boost. Now I've just shown you a little picture of the menu. If you go onto their website, you'll see special 5,000 Rand max. So you can only bet, well, I say only, I think this will satisfy most people. You can get up to 5,000 at even money on these. Now, these are obviously normally trading at 9 to 10. So it's a great, Bet Exchange are taking no margin on these bets whatsoever, betting to 100%. You can only take a single bet, so you can't throw it into a multiple, which is fair enough. And TNCs on side, I've looked at those TNCs, are basically the key ones I've listed there. 5K max and singles only. So do go and check those out. I've also just bought the winning margin in at the bottom there as well. Winning margin is where this particular market, you could back a team to win by 1 to 12 points inclusive, or by more than 12, in other words, 13 or more. And of course, the draw is also the option there. So you'll see I do come back to that a little bit later in the show as well. Right, before we get into the bets themselves, do join up with our daily newsletter. I normally send a weekly newsletter, but during the World Cup, so much happening every day. I'm going to send a newsletter probably on each match day, but at the very least on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday match days. So it's free, and I also don't charge for it. There's good reason, because I'm certainly not a professional punter. I just love my betting, passionate about it, and I'll share my thoughts in that newsletter. don't think you're going to get rich following me with that one. But there is a link down below in the description box. Go click on that. Takes you a couple of seconds, and you can get my newsletter every day that I place a bet at any rate on the World Cup. Join us, yes, in the battle against the bookies. It is the right thing to do. Right, Scotland v South Africa bets, obviously goes without saying, crucial match for both sides. I think the backlines look pretty evenly matched. The box should, as the match wears on, gain ascendancy up front, and their bench could well be the difference as well. It's going to be a tight game, this. I did go in the good for the game preview under 5.5 tries at 11 to 10. I think that price is still available. Certainly wouldn't put you off that. In fact, I'm probably prefer that to the points market because I think there's going to be lots of kicking for posts this afternoon. But the bets I do also fancy then, based on what we've had a look at today, under 47.5 points at even money. I put in brackets here the under 5.5 tries because that's the other sort of option. I'm going to have a little bit of the under 47.5 points and also the under 5.5 tries. So I'll certainly be on both of those markets. And then I like the box to win the game, but I don't know if they're going to beat this handicap. I think it's going to be close. I'm going 2 units box by 1 to 12 inclusive at 35 to 20. That's it then. As I say, remember to subscribe, hit us with the competition in the comments, and give us a like if you enjoy the show. We'll see you at 3:30 this afternoon for a betting chat with